Well, there's been much anticipation around here since the very idea of following 5 people from diverse faith perspectives on their first visit to the Holy Land for a unique 20-day journey to discover the real meaning of Christmas. Doesn't that sound great? The world television premiere of Journey to Christmas is this weekend on CTS. Joining me is Mike Wright, director and writer of the four-part documentary, and Dusty May Taylor, who is one of the pilgrims. Welcome, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Great to be here.
We've got some great show and tell standing by. Yeah. Mike, we've already talked about dreams in this hour. You have worked for Crossroads for 25 years.
Can you believe it?
No.
But
I can remember about 15 years ago or so, you were behind a camera here in the studio, and you were sharing your dream of producing.
Right.
Tell me this is the dream come true.
Oh yeah, and actually I think I know the moment you're talking about. We actually made the decision to go to Israel, and we lived there, my wife and I, for a year, and that kind of is, I think, part of why I actually was chosen to take the directing role for Journey to Christmas, was because I've been there more than 30 times, and I have a good lay of the land, and I kind of had this idea of, actually it was interesting because Bruce Stacy came to me about 18 months ago to this day, and he presented this idea, and as soon as he started talking about it, I was overwhelmed with the thought that, yeah, I can do this. So, and I was so grateful to be chosen to be able to direct this. So it was a dream come true, because I had done a lot of different things, but that was something that I really wanted to do.
And talk about dreams come true. Dusty, you had never been to Israel.
No.
Oh, you shared your story here on Huntley Street of being really rescued from a very painful childhood, everything from the occult to eating disorders to mental illness. No one would believe any of that now.
Some people would believe the last part.
No. So what did it mean to be going on this journey to the Holy Land?
Oh, it was kind of like a miracle for me. It was a rescue sort of from the mundane. I always wanted to see the Holy Lands. My family's talked about it a lot, actually. And it's important to me to see, like, where's the real Jesus stuff? And I got to see that firsthand, so.
Well, you got a few things you didn't bargain for. And I think one of the most exciting and most dramatic, the worst sandstorm in Israel in 40 years?
Yeah, it was day 2. We had landed, and of course I can't plan any of this. And when we heard a sandstorm was coming, my director of photography said, you know, I know the scene for the camel ride is the next day. Why don't we shoot it during the sunset? And I thought, great idea. So we ended up shooting it that day, not knowing how bad the storm was going to be. It totally wiped out our next day of shooting. So if I hadn't have listened to Chris, Chris Stacy, our director of photography, that scene wouldn't be in the series. And it's probably the most iconic scene, because here you've got these guys, all 5 of them on a camel for the first time in the middle of the desert, and they're really experiencing what the Magi how they would have traveled. So that scene was key to the whole series. So I'm so glad that we actually got a chance to do that.
Okay, here's the sneak preview. Sandstorm.
It's a hard land, and that Bedouin tent experience is a perfect idea.
We got into this tent, and it was lumpy and just a bunch of rugs on hard stone ground. We were the soft Bedouin impersonators, because we had, like, the mattresses piled, like, waist high.
Because I have jeans on, that's kind of awkward.
Timing is everything. And this team of 5 arrived just in time to experience the worst sandstorm Israel has seen in 42 years.
היום הכתה בישראל סופת החול הכי חזקה מזה 40 שנה. רוחות הזאת העיפו חול וברד ויצרו תנאים מסוכנים ביותר.
All of a sudden I thought it was like thundering because it was so loud, but I think it was just the wind that was hitting the tent. I got scared because I was like, oh my goodness, these poles are gonna fall on me and then I'm gonna get trapped under this tent.
That sand was absolutely nuts. I got up about 3, 4 in the morning and walked around in the middle of it. I'm not sure why, Went and visited the camels.
The tent is shaking, and the tent posts are like bending and swaying, and you could hear howling noises outside, and the sand is just shooting past the lights.
We woke up in the morning, and there was sand all over everything, and we realized we'd been breathing that in all night long.
Well, we've got 5 pilgrims, as you know by now, and producer Karen Pascal, who was, after Norma Jean Maines, the first producer of 100 Huntley Street. How cool is that? And all these people involved in this very threatening event. My first thought, forgive me, wasn't people, it was the cameras.
Oh, wow.
You get sand in a little point and shoot, and you're cooked.
Yeah, I give
You
credit.
had a red camera.
We had a red camera, which basically, to describe it, it shoots the resolution 4 times of HD. So it's movie quality. Anyway, so I didn't even ask Chris. He went out along with Marlon, the other cameraman, and they shot scenes that you saw in that last clip of the Sandstorm. And they were terrified of what could happen to their lenses. And unfortunately for Chris, one of his lenses did get ruined. So, but he was a real trooper, and he realized he had to get the shot. So he went out there and did it.
Sacrifices for the cause. How did you enjoy your first Sandstorm, Dusty May?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe you knew. You knew it was coming.
I didn't
You
know it was going to be
didn't
that
tell
bad.
me.
I didn't know it was going to be that
No,
bad.
it was actually, I like some drama and adventure, so I kind of enjoyed the horror of it all.
Well, you made a claim here, and I read this at the website. You have to go to journeytochristmas.com for all kinds of goodies, extra stuff. You said, I will be of good cheer in the most adverse of circumstances. I might sing Christmas songs. I think some of the venues begged for singing, didn't they?
Yeah, I threatened them. I didn't realize they actually were okay with that. So, no, there was amazing acoustics. The old chapels and stone walls, they make you sound way better than you actually are. So,
well, we're going to go to one of those right now. Now, Shepherd's Fields Chapel, I did not know.
It was built by Canadians.
There's the goodie.
that's right. No maple leaves in it, though.
Oh, it's all right.
No beavers.
What we're going to hear is gorgeous. Here's Dusty May with a little solo.
I was really excited to come to the Shepherd's Fields because the chapel here has the best acoustics I've ever heard in my life, probably the best in Israel. And of course, I couldn't resist singing. Singing is really important to me. It's what connects me to my faith, and it's something I do when I feel grateful. And I was really grateful to be here. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round your...
Heading back into the church of the Shepherd's Field, it was an incredibly moving experience. In fact, I was probably more moved by Dusty's singing in there with the echo and with her incredible pitch, singing Christmas carols than at any other point.
And it had a beautiful sound, and it's always nice to try to honor God and glorify God with your voice and have it sound good because the space is so magnificent. A camel could sing in that church and it would sound good.
And there's more of that in Journey to Christmas. So beautiful. The visual is stunning. The music is beautiful. And how did you get these popular sites, you know, that track the Christmas story to yourselves? In most of them, you're the only ones there.
You think that?
Yeah. Huh? There were times where we had to fend off people. You know, if you just wait for us to finish this scene, and they were really gracious about it. But in most cases, like for instance in Church of Nativity, when we were there in October, there was 5,000 people in that church. And I was really concerned that we would, because you can't get exclusive access. It is a public site. But we went first thing in the morning, and for about 10, 15 minutes, we had the church to ourselves. So
I honestly
really
had
fortunate.
a better, I've been to Israel twice. I had a better look at these popular sites in Journey to Christmas than I did when I was there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And here's the other stunning thing. We've got 5 people. I want you to tell us, Mike, quickly, you know, who they are. But the connection, you go first, Mike.
Yeah, we decided we wanted to bring a diverse group of people, so whether it's ethnicity or religion or what they do for a living. So we brought Rory, who is an agnostic and international relations analyst who lives in Ottawa.
And his spiritual background?
He's agnostic. His father was brought up in the Judaism religion, but he renounced it when he was a young man. And his mother is a Roman Catholic, I believe. But Rory was brought up in a very secular home, so he had no knowledge of the Christmas story. We brought Nazareth Mabratu, who is a visual artist.
And she was named after Nazareth,
after
right?
Nazareth in Israel,
Fantastic.
and born on Christmas Day. And she brought a lot. She brought a background of a Coptic, Greek Orthodox background, and we really wanted to see how she would react. We brought Drew Marshall, who is a popular spiritual talk show host, who was going through a really hard time and
Desperately seeking.
Desperately seeking God. That was his line throughout the journey, and he really wanted an experience with God. And we brought Dusty, of course, and we also brought Kim Kakakaway, who is a First Nations person. And she wanted to find out if Jesus was a tribal man.
Just their whole starting position is fascinating. And then the way you connected.
Yeah, you can't plan that. We actually liked each other, really. Most of the time. There was a little bit, like, you know, you're really tired. So sometimes, I was surprised the cameras didn't show it. There was some exhaustion, but we really liked each other. It was diverse, but everybody was respectful, and there was a lot of humor. We laughed a lot. That probably saved us, actually, laughing at each other and with each other.
And very open with each other, and of course with us. We kind of get into your hearts the whole way. And guess what I forgot? That you were actually there for Christmas.
Right.
Where
Manger
did you spend
Square.
Christmas Eve?
We spent Christmas Eve in Manger Square, and it was an interesting experience. I don't know how you felt about being there.
Manger Square was a nightmare. It was so busy. It was weird. It was just, I don't know. It was not what I expected, but that's the thing, right? You're trying to see what's real over there and what doesn't match your expectations. So.
Well, I think it was really significant, and it certainly ties in with our theme this week, that you reached out to others in need. We're going to go now to a boys' home. These are not orphans, but these are extremely poor boys. Here we go.
When we came to Bethlehem, we stayed at a guest house, and attached to it was this boys' home.
The orphanage was like the perfect Christmas experience, because Christmas for me is still more about the kids than anything else.
My time at the orphanage was great because you don't need words to relate to kids.
Back home, probably would have been playing football with my cousins or something like that. So here I'm playing soccer with some Palestinian orphans. Nothing wrong with that.
Make them laugh, crack a smile, and then you're good to go.
I think what's really unique about that scene is that we had planned to bring them to this Lutheran guest house, and we found out as I was booking it that this boys' home was attached to it. So I really wanted the group to connect with the locals there so that they just didn't have this historical view, but they actually could meet some of the people and really discover what Christmas is like for the Palestinian people.
Wow, well, you're already getting response, and some of my favorite scholars are in here, like Dr. Paul Meyer, and all the extra stuff at the website, where I read this post yesterday. The void in our soul cannot be filled by gadgets, entertainment, food, work, travel, and religion. They haven't even seen it yet, and they're responding to the concept of finding the true Christmas. Thank you both for 18 months investment for you, Mike, and Dusty. Okay. You took that Mary and Joseph trip, the whole thing. We're going to see it all. 4 wonderful. Okay, have we got a page to show you here? This, because you want to make sure your weekend keeps this time open. December 3rd, 7, and December 4th at 6 o'clock on Canada's Christmas channel, CTS. Take the journey with these 5 very interesting people. Jim, over to you.